Hello and welcome back to another Walking Dead Daryl Dixon video, and today I'll be talking about episode 5 and did Rick return to the Commonwealth. In episode 5 there is a Daryl Dixon flashback to how he got to France, and in that flashback we have a short cameo from Melissa McBride's Carol. And in this short cameo over the radio, they have a normal conversation about Daryl returning home and how Carol is dealing with looking after and helping to run the Commonwealth. But the interesting part, right at the end of the conversation, Carol's like, "Hey Daryl, static came back," and then it cuts off. The static really makes it sound like Rick, and I really do not believe it could be anyone else. Like, who would be important enough for Carol to be like, he came back? Maybe Michonne? But I do not think it's Michonne. I definitely think Michonne will die. Andrew Lincoln wants to do more in the Walking Dead universe. However, Diagonera just wants the Michonne story to be behind her so she can move off and do big Marvel movies. So I do not think the character coming back is going to be Michonne. It could be Morgan, but it doesn't really make much sense for Carol to tell Daryl about Morgan. Daryl and Morgan were never close together. There was some sort of like relationship between Morgan and Carol, but I do not think it's that. So it's obviously talking about Rick. And I definitely believe this is setting up a reunion for Daryl and Rick on the Daryl Dixon show, not The Ones Who Live. We know that is a one and done 6-episode show, and no characters that were not Rick or Michonne were on that. We know Norman Reedus during the final episode of filming was on set, but we only saw him in one photo, and he wasn't even in costume. He was just there to be and see his friend. That's what I think he was there. He was just there to be like, "What's up, Andy?" and hang out with Andrew Lincoln, because they're really close friends. But with Andrew Lincoln being like, "Yeah, I kind of want to be back with Rick." He wanted to go back on The Walking Dead immediately after he left. Like, after season 9, he wanted to be back on the show in season 10, but Scott Gimple said no. Maybe Daryl Dixon is going to end with Daryl getting back to America, and we do know season 3 will not take place in France, and I definitely think that is probably because of Melissa McBride. The whole reason she isn't in season 1 is because the actor had personal issues with her father, and she didn't want to move her life to France to go and film the show. So maybe they were like, okay, we'll do 2 seasons in France, we'll get Melissa McBride to come over for 1 season, but season 3 will take place in America, and they could maybe do 3 or 4 seasons. It looks like they could do 3, and season 3 will end with Daryl and Rick reunited. Maybe in season 3, Rick won't be a cameo role, and with them teasing in this episode that Rick has returned, maybe in season 3 he will have a somewhat big role, and maybe each season will introduce an important character to Daryl. And maybe for the 3rd or final season, who's the most important character to Daryl? It's Rick, his brother. And this definitely has a lot of weight, I believe, with Andrew Lincoln wanting to be back in the shoes of Rick Grimes, and The Ones Who Live is probably just there to get rid of Michonne and to set Rick up again to be a big player of the Walking Dead universe. I think after The Ones Who Live, the next time we will see Rick will be in Daryl Dixon season 3 probably, and with them already filming season 2, season 3 is not going to be far off. We already know that Judith will have a cameo role in season 2, so it is possible that Rick could have a cameo in season 2 as well. So really am excited about the future of The Walking Dead, and I do definitely believe Carol is referring to Rick returning. It makes no sense to be Morgan or Michonne. They're the only other characters that are currently out there and alive. I definitely think Michonne is dead, so Rick will return. That's what she's saying. Rick has returned. So let me know down below. Do you agree with me that Carol is talking about Rick, or do you think she's talking about someone else? And with us knowing that Judith will be in season 2 of Daryl Dixon in some sort of cameo role, maybe it's possible we'll see Andrew Lincoln reprise his role in a cameo in season 2 of Daryl Dixon as well. But I'd like to know all your thoughts down below. This is it for me today, so goodbye, peace out, and I'll see you in the next video.